The FIA GT Nations Cup is an all-new event. It's being run here in Bahrain for the first time as part of the Batco Bahrain GT Festival. It's for the nations, it's for bronze and silver graded drivers. GT3 machinery for everybody and some fascinating combinations of drivers, teams and cars all set to do battle on this 5-kilometre long circuit. Belgium is a potential winner this weekend. Charles Weerts sharing his Audi with racing returnee Mike Dentant.
Racing for Belgium and WVRT, which is definitely one of the best GT teams in the world, was a great opportunity for me, and I immediately say yes when Vincent wrote me.
Mexico is one of the many nations running a Ferrari 488 GT3. And Martin Fuentes, the Mexican driver, racing here for the first time in spectacular fashion.
Very new grounds for us. Well, this circuit, of course, knowing Bahrain from Formula One racing, of course, it's a very good venue to come. And we saw that we had a chance to come and compete against the best silver and bronze drivers in the world, and here we are.
What about Argentina? This another very strong combination of drivers. Ezequiel Perez Companc and his cousin, Jose Manuel Balbiani, are the two drivers, and Ezequiel knows the Lamborghini Huracan very well.
Yeah, nobody knows, but actually my teammate is my cousin, so it's going to be our first race together, so it's really special for us, especially like representing Argentina in this amazing race. So yeah, it's going to be a really good weekend for us for sure.
Hong Kong is represented by the Nissan GTR and by Alex Au and co-driver Andy Yan.
I'm honored to be driving at the first ever FIA GT Nations Cup. And this is the first time I drive the car with my country flag. So I'm honored and passionate to drive the car.
Representing Thailand, Pasin Lathoris and Piti Bhirombhakdi. Both have lots of European racing experience and are hoping to put that to good effect here this weekend in Bahrain.
This is something new for the GT3 event, and I think the idea is great. And for the gentleman driver and for the silver driver can be pairing up for your own nation is something that you can be proud of.
ACA ASP run Mercedes have enjoyed a really strong season in international GT racing. The team could have another strong result here. Representing France, it operates the car of Gilles Plat and Jean-Luc Beaubelic.
We raced together this year in GT4 with ACA ASP. We finished vice-champion, so it was a really good year. And Jean-Luc did also the GT3 Blancpain endurance. So we know the car, and yeah, we are together here to represent the France, and we are really happy to be here with all this country.
Sweden is another potential winning team this weekend. Alexander West having done many a mile in Blancpain GT racing. He's partnered by Victor Bouveng.
Well, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a kind of a cool, different concept. Instead of having a full racing series, you have a one-off weekend, and you get to represent your country for a change. So it's a nice place to be away over the winter months, and I think with 19-20 cars, I think it's been a pretty good lineup. So it's going to be an exciting weekend.
And no GT grid would be complete without Porsche. The ever-improving Hebeth Motorsport squad operates two cars, one for Australia and one for China, where China GT frontrunner Li Chao shares driving duties with Leo Yi, Chris van der Drift on driver coaching duties.
It's very special because to represent my country is very proud to be here. And me and my teammate Leo, I think we will do our best, to try to get a good result.
The FIA GT Nations Cup here in Bahrain, being run for the first time, is about to get underway for the main race. This will determine who wins the Nations Cup. The points scored in the two qualifying races purely to determine the grid. From here on in, it's first past the flag to determine which is going to be the winning nation. The cars released under the floodlights here at the Bahrain International Circuit. You see the Turkey entry, the Mercedes, making its way round onto the grid. And for the first running, the 18 nations then are all after this coveted trophy that stands at the front of the grid. And Bahrain welcoming back the GT category after many years away. The FIA GT Nations Cup for the first time is being run, and already plans to head to Europe to Vallelunga for next season. On the front of the grid, Turkey starting on pole position with the UK alongside, and Chris Froggatt is going to be the first driver in that Ferrari. Now, this is David Addison with John Watson trackside, and down on the grid is Bruce Jones, and he has headed to pole position. Turkey is going to be the nation on pole position, and Ayhan Güven is standing on the grid with Bruce ready to have a word.
Ayhan Güven, there is no car behind you, but this is it. This is when it gets serious. This is the final, the FIA GT Nations Cup.
Yeah, until now we make a really good job, and now we are in the pole position for the final race, which is really important. Yeah, fingers crossed. The solid start the race, so then I finish, and we will see. We both try to our best. Until now we make a good job, as I say, and hope we can finish how it's come and we can win it. But there is a really good teams. There is really good really good level of the racing. I personally really enjoyed the racing there, and now I'm also proud to be in the pole for the final race and try best. There is nothing to lose more, so we will see.
This is how spectacular the Bahrain circuit looks. If you're only familiar with seeing it in the daylight for a Grand Prix, for example, it's a completely different feel now with the lights on. So the race director, Oliver Grodowski, tells the teams on the timing screen all cars must have lights on. That is now happening. This is the grid. Salih Yoluk starting on pole position for Turkey, for the UK alongside Chris Froggatt. Row 2 for Argentina, Jose Manuel Balbiani. For Germany, Alexander Matschel. On the third row, Rinat Salikov goes first for Russia, and alongside him in the Belgian Audi, Mike Dentant. For France on row 4, there's Jean-Luc Bobelic, and for Mexico, it is Ricardo Perez de Lara. Then for Italy on row 5, Pier Giuseppe Perezzini. For China, Li Chao will go first ahead of the Swedish entry, Alexander West. And for Australia, it's Dad, Stephen Grove, before he hands over to Sam Brenton. He will go first. For Hong Kong, Alex Au is on row 7. For Belarus, it is Alexander Tulkenitsa Senior. For Denmark, Johnny Lawson steps forward. And for Thailand, Piti Birambakti. And then the back row in the Malaysia entry, it is Zen Lo, and Ken Sito will go first for Japan in the white Ferrari. 18 nations set to do battle here. But now the cars get themselves ready for the rolling start, because as they come down towards turn 14, they get themselves into this side-by-side formation. In race control, there might be one or two nervous thoughts about what happens at turn 1. There may well be some worried faces up and down the pit lane as well, because getting through turn 1 without damage is going to be key, really, to your chances in this race as we get set to go racing. This is the main race in the first ever FIA GT Nations Cup. The cars accelerate their way up towards the light that change. Now the race underway. Who's going to make the best start on the run down towards turn 1? Good start by Germany on the outside. It's Turkey with the advantage on the inside line. The UK absolutely dead set alongside into the braking zone. And drama, that's Belgium. Belgium off the road. And the car's going to come across the circuit. They are just going to miss him. But major drama for Mike Dentant. There is drama in the back because there's bodywork, there's a damaged Porsche. That car's going nowhere because there's broken suspension. I think that is China that has come to grief. Here are the leaders up the inside, Balbiani. It's Turkey in the lead though. Turkey leads the UK. Who's going to be third at turn 4? It's Argentina. Russia up the inside, 4th. Germany 5th. Wow, what a start.
Well, somebody tagged the back of the Belgium Audi massively coming down, probably early into the braking zone. Somebody hit probably on full throttle. The Audi was like a snooker ball being punched up the table across the green baize. There is the Porsche damage. That was a car that got caught incidentally. Oh, Argentina, I mean, that is just ridiculous. There was no way the Germany Ferrari was sitting right on the bit of the racetrack. But
okay,
dear me.
So we've lost Australia, not China. Apologies. There's now damage Argentina and Germany. I'm waiting to see whether they can survive. No, safety car's going to be deployed. Safety car deployed, and that is the end of Belgium's chances. Damage, and in the gravel, and Argentina again in strife. Balbiani has been turned around, or he's turned himself around, but either way, that car is not going in the right direction.
No, it's not. Balbiani on this opening lap was absolutely manic. It was manic coming into turn 8, and then on the exit of turn 10, got the car rotated. I mean, it had to be a safety car intervention because there's cars that need to be removed to safety at turn 1. And I mean, where did common sense go?
Well, indeed, a good question. And the trouble is that, you know, teams have worked so hard all weekend to get to this stage with chances. Oh, Belarus, now look at that damage.
Well, that we didn't see that. That actually went off. Look at the barrier on the right-hand side of the picture. You can see that car's gone in there backwards, big time. Now the barrier has been damaged. Hopefully the barrier will be secure, because we don't have to see a delay. Then in this race, on the barrier would be, those bits of barrier would be replaced.
So all the incident we were looking at to the left, but that happened coming into the corner.
I thought I saw a car, but then I saw the safety, one of the track cars coming along. I thought maybe that was I think it was a black Mercedes or something. So there were 3 cars, but real severe damage. But it was the shock of seeing the Belgian car being punted. You know, I mean, at speed, the Audi was on the brakes. Whatever hit him was still flat out.
Right, John, talk us through the mayhem.
Well, we're looking at the start. There's the Audi in the 3rd row of the grid, in the middle of the pack. Watch, because somebody comes up from behind. Is it the Ferrari? One of the Ferraris in the Russia or Germany car comes across.
It was a pinch. He didn't get hit from behind.
No, he got pinched. But once he got pinched, it's as if all the rear wheels almost left the ground, and the car managed, fortunately, didn't hit the barrier, but skipped across and the bits of the bodywork flying everywhere. Spin. But then, at this second point, watch what happens on board. This is the China Porsche. So where is the Belarus Ferrari? It's all behind. So we're just seeing, there is the Audi going off to the left. The Hong Kong Nissan slips ahead. So that's all. But there is a view. Scary moment for everybody in the pack. And that maybe just been a few seconds later, that could have been much more serious than the already serious incident we have. This is Mexico we're riding with now.
Yeah, and again, they're ahead. Incidentally, the Swedish entry has just come into the pit lane, so that's picked up some damage somewhere. Now, have a look at the Belgian Audi, because as we go racing, it gets in the middle of 3 cars, and there's a squeeze and a rough and a bump, and then there's the contact, but out of that, the Audi is just speared across the road. Look top right, it's come across the circuit. There it is.
I don't think it was the Mexico car that made the contact. It was, I think, either the Russian or the German. I think it was that Ferrari just gone through now. That was the car, I think, that had the contact with the Audi. The contact came from going down the track from the right-hand side.
Germany's hopes dented as well. That's the end of Argentina for the moment, because it got involved with France. Yeah. At the corner before it got involved, Argentina's Lamborghini with the German Ferrari. So Alexander Matschel limping back to the pit lane. Right, let's go racing, everybody. Yellow flags withdrawn, green flags fly, green lights will come on, and we will go racing once more in the FIA GT Nations Cup here in Bahrain. And it is game on once more as Turkey, the UK and Russia, 1, 2, 3, head across the line with half a second between the Turkish and the UK entries down towards turn 1. Heart in mouth, can they all get through safely this time? In 4th place, look, the Nissan of Hong Kong, and the 2 leaders as they get to the braking zone and nose to tail.
Everybody a lot more circumspect as they try to thread their way around turn 10. Fewer cars, 4 fewer cars. In fact, it's 5 fewer cars than we had at the start of this race. But look, the Ferrari managing. How did it manage to do that? Because it almost gets alongside as they come up into turn 4. And that's United Kingdom. Suddenly, whatever, maybe Yolok had a bad exit out of turn 1, but under threat from Chris Froggatt, trying to find a way through. Mercedes ain't going to concede. But look, the grip that the Ferrari has got, to goes door handle to door. And was he run wide? I would have thought maybe he was. He's certainly being. That I will think would be something I would want to have a look at, because there was clearly a little bit of gamesmanship from the Turkey Mercedes-Benz, and it's lost that advantage now. Well, it's got the back. Russia looking to go down the inside, so all of a sudden it's Ferrari's 1st and 2nd, and Yolok in the Turkey, the car that was potentially the race winner, down to 3rd place in the space of 3 corners. Oh, contact with Italy and Thailand.
So round goes Italy. Pier Giuseppe Perezzini tagged by Thailand. Pitibir Mbakti behind the wheel. Perezzini falls down the order. Not been his day either, has it? Right, the UK getting away unscathed in this race. 87 is under investigation. That is France. Jean-Luc Beaumoulin, possibly for the contact against Argentina on the opening racing lap of the event. This is this great move by Chris Froggatt on the outside as he came down now towards turn 7. But look at the way that Turkey leads on it.
Yeah, but look at the amount of grip the Ferrari has got, and the Mercedes is not really letting the Ferrari get back onto track, trying to intimidate, trying to force. And that'll opens the door for Russia to get him alongside in the exit. And again, it was a very, very aggressive move in my opinion, but well read by Rinat Solikov in the Ferrari for Russia. Gets up alongside. On the outside, watch what he does to the Mercedes-Benz. He doesn't take many prisoners either. as they try to get through turn 9, and then the undercut from the Russian Ferrari down the inside. Jolok sitting there, an absolute, nothing he could do. He's created his own destiny and ends up losing a second place.
France is being given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision, and there Russia just staying ahead of Turkey out of turns 1 and 2. That is China going deep and losing a place to Denmark. Behind is the penalised French car, which has now got Argentina up behind it, and of course they fell out on the opening lap. That is why there is the drive-through. So Chris Froggatt, the race leader, 3.7 seconds is that margin, and the battle is on. I reckon that Turkey is coming back at Russia. Yes, now Salih Jolok is on his toes once again. It'll be intriguing to see if we can find out after this stint where the pace went to. Argentina under attack from China. So they're through on the inside line. Goes Jose Manuel Balbiani, who's stepping up through the field. Now that safety car has helped Argentina to bring them back into the game.
Well, I mean, they were one of the most, you're going to say exciting or controversial, depending on your point of view. Start. Let's look again and see what we're looking at.
Thailand on Italy.
Yeah. So that was earlier, the two Ferraris getting together down at turn 8. Turn 8's been a busy corner for incidents, and always is. It's a difficult corner. The track again falls away from you, and you're coming from that sequence of through the S's, and you go back on board with the Thai Ferrari,
which is closing up to the Li Chao Porsche from China. But Chris Froggatt leading the way as this is for second place now. Russia versus Turkey. They were 600ths apart when they came over the line. Russia on the inside, Turkey on the outside line. Renat Salikov for Russia, Salih Jolok for Turkey, and it is going to be Russia that is first into the corner. But then the road will come to Turkey on the inside line for turn 2. Into turn 3 it goes back Russia's way, and so the Ferrari fends off the Mercedes. So the car's now up towards turn 4. France is serving its drive through, there it is, but more importantly what's going on for second is that they are side by side at turn 4, and it's just Russia ahead, and Hong Kong, look, is back in the game.
Well, Hong Kong, suddenly again the Nissan has managed to turn those tyres on. It's got balance, it's got grip, it's got performance, and the Mercedes Turkey cannot relax because it's a Nissan behind me, but obviously it's taken 3 or so laps for the Mercedes to find the composure that we've seen from the car. But look, up the inside, Turkey runs wide.
Yeah.
Hong Kong slips up the inside. Remember the Nissan, very quick indeed in a straight line. Is he going to force the situation? Will he do the undercut that we saw Germany do, or Russia, I beg your pardon, Russia do some number of laps ago?
Under investigation is Thailand for the contact against Italy. Second, third, fourth, and now fifth altogether. Now look, fifth is Denmark. That car was on the penultimate row of the grid, and despite being involved in a lap 1, turn 1 accident in race 1, suddenly that car is back into the game, and with the quicker co-driver for the second stint, Johnny Lawson and Nicholas Nielsen have got a good chance of being on the podium.
The reason is that the second and third cars are principally holding up the cars that are gathering behind. They're all queuing up behind second place Russia, third place Turkey. Turkey focused on trying to find a way past the Russia Ferrari. So far hasn't found the way to do so, and that's bringing 3 cars that have been running behind that normally would not maybe run at the pace of a lead or a second place car, but they're being invited to join in.
Now in has come Italy, because the pit window is open for these back markers. There's a drive-through penalty being given to Thailand. China is in, Malaysia is in, Italy I'd mentioned, Sweden went back out and has come back in for the regulation stop now.
So, wait to see, 8.9 seconds. Chris Froggatt's done a brilliant job. He's used all the benefits of that brand new set of Pirelli tyres. He's had clear road once he got ahead of the Turkey Mercedes, and he's just driven, and when he hands that car over to Chris Buncombe, he may, in fact, if I was the team, I'd keep him out there for as long as necessary, because he's got nobody to challenge him. He's by far and away the quickest race car on the track. The next quickest race car, ironically, is Argentina, Jose Manuel Balbiani, and that's down in 6th place.
I would take issue with that and say you need Froggatt in as quick as you can now, because he's going up against faster drivers, so in real terms that lead's going to be into, you want Buncombe in the car as soon as.
Possibly you do, but certainly in this period I would keep him out for 1 more lap, maybe 2 more laps. Wait, the key will be what is the pace of this car and that of the Ferrari, who have yet to make their pit stop. So there's, as long as they stay on track, if they come in before, then you must shadow them immediately. Ferrari's coming in, as is the Mercedes. So now, if you're running the UK team, you've got to get on the radio to Chris Froggatt and say, in the next lap. So as long as they were staying out, running second and third, I would have kept Froggatt out. Now they've come in, I would bring Froggatt in and get Chris Buncombe behind the wheel.
Because the the replacement drivers, the Silvers, in the next stint in these cars will be quicker than Chris Froggatt potentially. So there, Ayan Guven takes over from Salah Yoluch. Bruce gets a chance to ask Salah where the pace went to. It will be intriguing. They're scurrying round the Argentine car. The mechanics help in Ezequiel Perez Companc. Thailand's drive-through penalty, I think I mentioned, and this is it. Pitibir Ombachti to serve that, and then later give way to Passin Lathouras. Right, we are almost at the halfway point. That's Nicholas Nielsen going for Denmark now. Good stint by Johnny Lawson, bringing the car up into 5th place. Russia has stayed ahead of Turkey. This is also significant for the UK chances because it means they're still going to fight and still delay each other.
Well, one theory is, well, let's watch and see. Surely, United Kingdom's got to come in this lap as Chris Froggatt comes out of turn 14. Is he coming in? No. They're keeping him out. I'm not sure that's the right decision.
There's Chris Buncombe watching on. Alex's brother there moves forward through the camera shot. But that surprises me that they are keeping him out. I mean, he has just done the absolute best first sector.
You just took the words out of my mouth. His last lap was a 2:03.2, which is not quite the quickest lap of the race, but certainly the fastest first sector on his 12th lap. So there is tons of pace, both from Chris Froggatt, from the Ferrari, and from that set of new Pirelli tyres.
Ready to go in the Hong Kong Nissan. Andy Yam, TCR Asia champion, blasted down the pit lane. And the leading gap at the moment is, in real terms, about 20 seconds, but now we're starting to see cars in their second stint. Onto a first flying lap goes Denis Bulatov for Russia and Ayan Guven for Turkey. Hong Kong is going to drop behind them, slot back in where it was earlier, so track position is maintained. Russia, Turkey, and what about Denmark? Through, round the outside goes Nicholas Nielsen. That's a change then, so Denmark goes 4th at the expense of Hong Kong. Nicholas Nielsen up into 4th position, so that's one change on the pit stops.
Almost an exchange of paint between the Thai car, or the Hong Kong car, and the Dane car, but Ferrari, oh, watch, an aggressive move, switching back to the inside line, and the Mercedes, Turkey gets through, but will the Ferrari come back because it'll have a better exit? It's going to be on the inside going through turn 5 and 6.
Bulatov is alongside, but then Turkey defends, and so down towards turn 8, the inside line is covered. Can the Russia entry get the switch back as they come out of the corner? Denmark is closing in as well as they squabble like this, and wide up the curb goes Turkey. To the outside line at turn 9 comes Russia, but again it's the switch back he needs to try and go wide in, and now dive bomb up the inside line, but it's covered.
He's too far back.
Can't do it. So Turkey, Russia, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th. Now is Denmark behind, but look at the way that Denis Bulatov is on his toes again to try and retake that 2nd position to the outside line now, down towards turn 11. The inside line is covered by Ayan Guven for Turkey, and Russia has to slot back in behind for 3rd place.
There was no question coming out of turn 10 that Turkey was going to take the inside line to prevent Russia trying to get up through. Chris Buncombe will be ready to get in there. We can see the Ferrari peels off.
He comes.
Make sure you get the car slowed down at the safety car line down to 50 kilometers per hour. There it is. So take the car in, guide it into your garage, and do the best you can in and out and turn the car around.
So there is 93 into the pit lane. That is the UK car, and that means out gets Chris Froggatt, and it will get now Chris Buncombe. So far, so good. All tidy this, John.
Yes, looks pretty good. It's more a matter of whether Chris Buncombe can get the foot box adjusted. There is an adjustable foot box rather than having an adjustable seat. So here is Denmark making progress. Savo taken the Russian car. Wait. He's being held. He can't release there. The Ferrari UK has been released. So where will be what is currently the race leader? Would it be Turkey would be the technical race leader until this car? Oh, the gap is going to have a very, very comfortable lead indeed, although it's a long way down the pit lane. The UK garage is in the early part of the pit lane. So the Mercedes, Turkey, will they find themselves? Let's get the head-on view. There it is. So it's going to be, wow, comfortable if ever I saw it.
But Turkey is already in a stint. Guven has had a lap. He knows what the car is like on the track. Chris Buncombe's got to get himself up to speed. Fastest lap of the race done by Turkey. And then behind, Nicholas Nielsen, having got ahead for Denmark of Russia, is also lapping rapidly. Russia 4th now, and a big gap back to who is going to be 5th. That'll be Hong Kong. Now this is the leader, Chris Buncombe for the UK. A delighted Chris Froggatt. He's had a very impressive weekend. Handshakes all round, but he can do no more now for 25 minutes than sit and watch and bite his nails. Chris Buncombe, he's won his class at Le Mans. Can he win the FIA GT Nations Cup for the UK?
So this is the pass between Russia and Denmark up the hill out of turn 8. And again, it's all about position. It's a bit like property, isn't it? Just you plant your car on the bit of the racetrack, and once you've done that, you can take control away from the opposition.
Now, Argentina is being investigated for track limits. Lap 1, turn 8 incident for Argentina, a 5-second time penalty. That was against Germany, if you remember, all that time ago. So, yeah, the kerfuffle of many, many minutes ago. And so, Argentina will get a 5-second penalty added at the end of the race. We need to bear that in mind when they come across the line. There, Argentina goes ahead of Italy. That's back up in a 7th place. Argentina versus Italy, 7th and 8th. So a 5-second time penalty for the Lamborghini of Argentina for an incident. And now it's being investigated for a pit lane infringement as well. And this is all getting a bit physical, isn't it?
Yeah, you could see again, side by side. I mean, I pay you back. If you're going to play that game, I'll play it myself. I don't want to see this kind of aggressive, physical racing taking place. You can see there coming down into turn 1, just Ferrari leaning on the Lamborghini. That's maybe why we got payback on the exit. We caught the original, the secondary incident just coming out of turn 3, but then it got mad. And there again, the two cars from the Far East, China on the inside, Hong Kong on the outside, and they're going to get together.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all one nation. Hong Kong and China, what are they fighting over?
Well, that's a change for 5th place. China going ahead. Liu Yi at the wheel.
Yeah, you can see the blow of the cheeks of Alex. There's something that they know that they're getting caught. They're getting caught very rapidly. Indeed, it's not just by the lap, it's by every sector around this racetrack, taking 3-4 tenths out of each sector, not just out of a lap.
Now, there, Mexico getting involved with Argentina. We just don't forget Mexico's a lap down. Demolishing the track marker bollards is Italy. Argentina is out wide and back on again.
Yeah, this is more like watching e-racing.
Well, the Mexico car, remember, he's on a different lap and he's getting in the way of cars. He shouldn't be racing against them, he should be letting them by, shouldn't it?
Well, in theory you should do. If you're getting a wave blue flag, you're obliged to get out of the way, but sometimes some drivers, and there we go again.
So Italy goes through, Argentina goes through, and Martin Fuentes now dropped back. Just going back to the UK car, it's tempting to say there is a problem with the car. I don't believe it's just Chris Buncombe not being quick enough. What do you think?
Well, there is obviously an issue because the lap times are not there.
A second and a half is the margin. Chris Buncombe ran wide at turn 14. Is it purely tyres?
Well, when the car was handed over, we didn't get any indication from the pacer from Chris Frogger that there was an issue with tyres, but certainly what Chris Buncombe has been unable to do is really do what we anticipated, which is consolidate the lead, maybe even pull away. But the charging Mercedes in second place has just run down, it's hunted down mercilessly the Ferrari that's been in the lead of this race for pretty much all of the race.
That's Mexico serving the drive-through penalty. Martin Fuentes then, who was busy defending fruitlessly, because he's a lap down and had this drive-through anyway. But it's not going to be long before Turkey takes over the race lead, and poor old Chris Buncombe is now really a sitting duck, isn't he? Because there's just nothing he can do. You can see the way that the gap is dropping corner by corner. Yellow flag up the road. Now, is that because that bollard is on the racing line, or is it something more serious than that? Let's have a look as the cars swoop down through turn 9 into turn 10. I think it may have been just for the bollard that's now been blown out of harm's way.
Yeah.
France in. This is a problem for France. This is not a scheduled stop.
No, Jim Plough brings the car in. The car goes up on the jacks. Looks like something at the right front, whether it's damage to the aero on the car or whether it's something on that right front suspension. So that car is up on the jacks and hasn't been pushed back into the garage, which is a good sign. If it was going back to the garage, that would be pretty much it all over for France.
Turkey is on the verge of winning this, I think, and the fans with the flags are getting ever more confident of same. There, running wide up the curb, is Ayhan Guven, who knows he's almost there. Now he's getting closer and closer and closer, and the lead is about to change. Shake of the head from Chris Frogger to say, don't know, nothing we can do. And so, as they come now down once again towards turn 14, nose to tail pretty much, and Chris Buncombe, I fear, is not going to lead at the end of this straight. Again, he goes a little bit wide. I think he's just struggling for grip, isn't he? Because the car's not responsive enough.
Absolutely, the level of grip is not there, and that's the reason why the Mercedes has been able to catch so efficiently.
Ayhan Guven could almost bide his time, such is the pace that the car has got. Chris Buncombe is good, but is he good enough to defend for another 13 minutes? As there, down towards turn 4, they close up once again. The Turkey Mercedes on the tail of the UK Ferrari. Out of the right-hander, Chris Buncombe again is wide. in fairness, if this is all about grip, this is a very unpleasant car to be driving, and he's got to tiptoe through sections like this where you're changing direction left and right. The Mercedes hauling him in. The change is imminent for the race lead. It's UK versus Turkey. Ayhan Guven is going to try and line him up to have a go coming out of turn 8, and he's got the drive out of the corner. Chris Buncombe tries to fend him off. Over the brow they come. They're almost side by side. The move is going to come. Is it on the inside down towards turn 10? Here it comes. Turkey has a look. The UK closes the door, but now the drive out of the corner. Ferrari stays ahead of Mercedes. The UK ahead of Turkey, but for how much longer?
Well, not very much longer, unless something miraculous can happen for Chris Buncombe, because he's got a much quicker car behind him. The issue is, where will the Mercedes make the pass without making contact, which would then probably put both drivers out of position and could put both or one of them out of the race.
So Chris Buncombe hanging on to the advantage. Nervous faces in both teams' camps. And now Guven dives to the inside line. Turkey leads the FIA GT Nations Cup. Goes a little bit wide coming out of the corner. Did he get away with it? Yes, he did.
That was a well planned. He was quicker out of turn 12 and just used the momentum to swoop down into the apex. Got under the Ferrari, took away control of the corner. Chris Buncombe trying to come back to do all that he can do. I mean, he's been sitting in a car which has not been delivering the pace that we saw earlier in the race there. The faces, you might say disappointment, but you know, they didn't know whether they were going to come here. They were going to be challenging for victory with just 11 minutes of this race remaining.
True enough, so over the line they go. Chris Buncombe is going to try to fight back if he can, see if he can apply the pressure to Turkey. Ayhan Guven is at the helm of the Turkish car. For the UK, it's Chris Buncombe, and as they wriggle their way out of turns 2 and 3, can anything be done for that Ferrari to find a way back through? The third spot, it is still Nicholas Nielsen for Denmark. The AF Corsa engineers are on the radio. There are nervous faces at Ram Racing. The British team operates the Turkey entry in all of this. 10 minutes and change on the clock, and the gap is widening now, isn't it? And the nervous faces are becoming happy faces, because they know that for Turkey, the win is now looking a lot more serious. Look at the way that gap has widened in the space of 2 corners.
Yeah, I mean, because simply the Mercedes has got more grip, and that allows the car to be driven more aggressively, to use more of the racetrack. Christopher Buncombe, you can see coming out of turn 8, he's got little grip at the rear. It's the traction, it's the lack of rear end grip, the degradation that we've been made aware of all through this weekend. The car slides wide coming out of turn 9 into turn 10, and they're a very happy looking seller. Yonaki thinks that this is his victory, he's beyond the podium.
9 minutes of the FIA GT Nations Cup remain. It is Turkey, UK, Denmark, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Russia, 5th, China, 6th, Hong Kong, and then you've got Argentina and Italy right there behind. So up towards the line, this is your fight for 6th place. Andy Yan for Hong Kong versus Ezequiel Perez Companc Argentina, Matteo Cristoni for Italy.
Which position of these 3 cars would you prefer to be in if you're behind the wheel? One thing I know is being in the middle is not going to be the most comfortable place.
That is for sure. Down they come then, into the braking zone for turn 1. Oh, so nearly contact, but Andy Yan in the Nissan stays ahead. Ezequiel Perez Companc tries to dive out on the outside out of turn 2 into turn 3. Can he do it? Gets the drag up towards the next right-hander. Andy Yan goes defensive. Hong Kong fending off Argentina. Italy looking to pick up the pieces as they get to the braking zone. Is there going to be a change? Argentina tries the outside. Hong Kong gets all crossed up. Argentina's going to get run out wide and goes through, but he went off the circuit to do it.
Certainly got 2 wheels off the track, and now the Ferrari Italy is trying to slide through as well. But Hong Kong has not given up in that position, because Argentina did have to make some compromises. Watch the Italian entry for the Ferrari. Again, there's the undercut coming out of turn 8 where you can do the work. The Ferrari's got the grip, has got the position alongside, but on the outside coming up into turn 9. This time, now watch again, dive down the inside. Can he make it stick? He's going to have a look at it. Didn't quite have the commitment or the confidence to make it stick. He could have done it, but I think he was maybe a little bit uncertain if it was going to work and actually make it stick.
Now this is why the drive-through has come for Argentina. Have a look at how he goes around the outside to gain the place, John.
Yeah, no, he runs very wide on the exit of turn 4. There is why, because he's got all 4 wheels over on the left-hand side of that red and white demarcation curbing, so that was the reason why, because you got that particular view rather than the head-on shot, which was the next shot. You could see it more clearly there.
Nielsen for Denmark, still catching the UK car. Chris Buncombe at the wheel of it as they turn through turn 13 now. Set to blast down towards the last corner on the lap and get onto the last lap of the race. And the faces of the Buncombe family aren't exactly those of joy, but they are at least settling now, perhaps for 2nd position, because there's just about enough in hand to hang on to that. But I think it's down to tyre wear. Poor old Chris Buncombe has battled valiantly. Maybe a little bit more was taken out of the tyres early on when Chris Froggatt was pushing on. We'll find out post-race, no doubt. We're on the last lap of the FIA GT Nations Cup. Turkey, UK, Denmark, the top three.
Yes, I think Chris Buncombe will be very quick to say that I didn't have any grip. The rear of the car, there was no traction, it was a difficult car, I was having snappy oversteer, the kind of things that really a racing driver doesn't like to have, and if you've got it, you can't bully it, you've just got to accept it and try and baby it as best you possibly can. Chris Buncombe for Team UK has done the best he can. He's got his car in second place. He's going to have a challenge, albeit on the last lap of this race where the Denmark can close in sufficiently. There we can see the Turkish flag being readied. And, well, I've had races where on the last lap that needs being taken away from you for a variety of reasons. But I think that's highly unlikely now as we're halfway around the last lap of this race.
Ayşen Güven and Salih Yoluk have both stepped up to the mark this weekend, haven't they, for Turkey, and as GT racers themselves. There is one more corner to go. The clock has hit 0, the flag is ready, and under the floodlights in Bahrain, a new event is won by an emerging motorsport nation. Turkey will win the FIA GT Nations Cup. Across the line comes the Turkish entry, the Mercedes of Ayşen Güven and Salih Yoluk, and the FIA GT Nations Cup is won by Turkey. Second is the UK, and third is Denmark.
Well, who would have predicted the outcome of this race? I mean, there were so many ifs, ands, or but so many people would have thought they were in with a chance. Going back to the start of the race, where the Belgium Audi got punted off, and that caused all sorts of mayhem. But, I mean, an outstanding drive and effort by the entire Turkey team. And I wonder, you know, there's a great racetrack in Turkey which is probably very much underused. Maybe sometime in the future, as a consequence of Turkey's victory here this evening, there could be a visit down to that racetrack. And think of that triple left-hand corner. Wow, what would a GT3 car look like through that?
So, applause for the Turkish victors as they're very proud. Salih Yoluk goes over to greet Ayşen Güven, who is dragged out of the car, and the celebration's underway. He's not yet disconnected, but whoops. The winners of the FIA GT Nations Cup, Turkey. The drivers are with Bruce Jones.
Congratulations, the victors in the first FIA GT Nations Cup. Team Turkey, how good does that sound, Salih Yoluk?
Yeah, really. I'm literally out of words. Like, he drove an amazing stint. He brought us the win. I'm so proud of him. I'm so thankful for this.
Don't undersell yourself, Salih. You had some great racing in your stint.
Yeah, thank you. But, like, obviously he did an amazing job overtaking the two cars in front. That's what got us the victory.
Now, Ayşen, I'm not sure you're going to be invited back. This is your first time in GT3, and you're on the top step.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, the race was tough. In the beginning, there was a really big crash and really difficult first lap for Salih, and he managed the lead. Then after, the Great Britain is really fast in that part of the race. But I think still we are quite close to them after the pit, and then also I have good tires. I think they are there when I start to push, and I know it's not easy, but I just try to push 100%, and I'm sure that I'm pushed to my 100% without mistake, because I know if I get a mistake, he can go front and he feel better. When I go catch him faster, he also start to make mistakes. Yeah, at the end, we had the win. It's a really good weekend for us. Salih don't make any mistake. Same for me. Team make excellent job. No mistake for all weekend. So yeah, it's for winning. You need to do everything well together. And this week we do it together. Also, I want to thank my country for special support this weekend or with message with their support. I think it's one of the best at the moment. The best supporter country at the moment in this championship. So also I'm really happy we give them what they deserve.
Wear the flag with pride. Well done, you two.
Turkey, winners of the FIA GT Nations Cup. And looking down onto the pit straight, that was where the whole complexion of the race changed an hour ago. To confirm the result, you've seen it on the screen. Turkey from the UK, from Denmark, 1, 2, 3, 4th Russia, 5th China, Italy 6th, 7th Hong Kong, Malaysia 8th, 9th Argentina, 10th Thailand, Japan 11th, Mexico 12th. They were the only finishers in the first running of the FIA GT Nations Cup. And so the medals are there, the drivers are set to be called forward. In reverse order, the third place nation then for the bronze medal is Denmark. Nicholas Nielsen and Johnny Lawson make their way onto the third step of the podium. A great result, bearing in mind they didn't even get a lap in the first race. For second place, the silver medals to the United Kingdom. Chris Froggatt and Chris Bunker make their way out onto the podium. The first time they've raced together, of course, and Chris Froggatt new to GT3 technology. But the heroes of the weekend, Turkey wins the FIA GT Nations Cup. Salih Yoluk and Ayhan Guven make their way onto the top step of the podium. A great weekend of GT racing is won by Turkey. And so two very proud, very happy drivers stand on the top step of the podium.
Presented
For
by
Turkey,
Mr.
Ayhan Guven
Rahimi,
and Salih
chairman of
Yoluk.
the board
But
of the
now
Bahrain
the medals
International
to be
Circuit,
presented,
who presents
and the
the
bronze
trophies,
medals will
the
go
bronze
to the
medals
Danish drivers.
to Johnny Lawson and Nicholas
Nielsen and Johnny
who
Lawson
represent
receive
Denmark.
the medals from Mr.
Well done,
Arif
gentlemen.
Rahimi, the chairman of the board of the Bahrain International Circuit, that's been a great host to the FIA GT Nations Cup this weekend. Well done, Denmark, for third place. Handshakes to the winners, handshakes to the runners-up as well. The United Kingdom then led the race, but ends up as second, and hence the silver medals are to be presented to Chris Froggatt and to Chris Bunkum from Mr. Ibrahim Talib, the Deputy Chief Executive of BAPCO. Chris B gets his, and Chris F receives his now. The medals for second place, the silver medals to the United Kingdom, Chris Bunkum and Chris Froggatt. And then to the winners of this first ever FIA GT Nations Cup. Handshakes to all of the drivers, but the bronze medals, the silver medals done. Now it's time for the gold medals. And His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan, the chairman of Saudi Arabia Motor Federation, hands over the gold medals to Ayhan Guven and Salih Yoluk, the winners of the FIA GT Nations Cup for Turkey. Very proud drivers, and Turkey, an emerging motorsport nation perhaps, but two drivers that really have set out their stall as talented GT3 drivers in this Pro-Am competition this weekend. Everybody gets together on the top step for the photographs. Lots of applause from family, fans, teams down below in the pit lane. And now the celebrations can get underway on the podium in time-honoured fashion. The Turkish drivers saturate one another, and then anybody else that happens to be standing around at the end of an excellent weekend of racing. Turkey, the United Kingdom and Denmark, the top three nations in this first ever FIA GT Nations Cup. It has given us a great weekend of racing at the end of a great season of GT racing internationally. Drivers make their way from the podium, and we say farewell from Bahrain. From Bruce Jones, John Watson and David Addison, it's goodbye at the end of a great weekend of racing, and there'll be more of the same in 2019.